I'll read you one very last book if you swear you'll go the to sleep.
5. How do you solve this problem? A 3-year-old toddler, which is my daughter, Sophia, she's not the problem. The problem is, how do you solve this where she does not want us to leave the room when it's time to go to sleep? That is the battle going down at my house right now. And it's one that's been going down over the last month. It's interesting where, she slept in the same room the last 2 years in her crib to convertible crib to now, if you missed it a couple days ago, her big girl bed that she's very excited about, just not so excited about it to sleep in it the entire night. But isn't it funny how she's been so fine the last couple years? And as parents, we've had it very lucky. She'll sleep like a college student. But now all of a sudden, it's like, no, I don't want you guys to leave. When I wake up, I'm going to lose my mind, and I need to go see Mama and Dada. And I know you kind of dealt with this a little bit, right, with Edie,
It's
Brian?
the weirdest thing. It's the same room, but just changing the bed for whatever reason changes the whole script.
Whole dynamic of everything.
Suddenly it's like your kid, you know that feeling when you wake up in a hotel and you don't know where you are and you panic a little?
Yes.
It's like that feeling, and then you have to try and explain your way
To a 3-year-old.
To a 3-year-old.
Who doesn't know what you're talking
It
about.
reminds me of
all the blessings.
Thank you, Brian.
All
and
of
I'll
them.
take all of them. It
Gobble 'em up,
reminds me
baby.
of, like, honestly, the first 6 or 8 months of when you're
Yes.
trying to get them to sleep and they wake up. So anyway, what my wife and I have been doing, and Sophia loves us to read books. She likes to read books, that type of thing. So we're like, okay, we'll read a book. And the book that we've been reading is The Hungry, Hungry Caterpillar. It's
riveting.
Riveting. It's the breakfast version of The Hungry Caterpillar, and I've read that so many times. But now this is like my own version of FanDuel bets of how many times will Dada Kyle read Hungry, Hungry Caterpillar? Is it 45 times? Is it 55 times? Morning fam, I have been in there, I kid you not, from like 6:45 until after 8, trying to get her to go to sleep. And it's not like I'm reading The Hungry Caterpillar straight through for an hour and 15 minutes, but I've read it like 35 times or 40, and then every single time when I finish, I'm about to get up, this is what she says.
Dada, read again.
Dada, read again. I'm like, okay, I'll read it again. The funny thing for me is it goes from being light outside to pitch black in her room by the time.
know.
It's like 8 o'clock. At this point, I'm delirious. My soothing voice is putting myself to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm making up words. I'm getting delusional at this point, guys. I'm making up words like, now the Hungry Caterpillar, guys, is going to First Watch and eating the $1 Million bacon and the farmhouse skillet. Hungry Caterpillar is eating.
How about when he goes on Ozempic? You got that
he needs
chapter yet?
Ozempic.
Yeah.
he eats Chargrill burgers now from Cookout,
Yum.
evidently. I don't know if you've seen that
He's
in
killing
books.
it.
Separately, funny you mentioned the Ozempic thing. Man, I wish I had the same metabolism as this caterpillar. How is he not a character in 1,000-Pound Sisters, right, with all that he eats?
Getting bitten by
How
a camel.
does this caterpillar eat whatever he wants, and he's still 0.0000005 pounds?
The sad thing is I can tell just by what you're saying is that you've read it so many times you've had to think about these alternate alternate
that's where I'm
storylines.
thinking.
We've all been there, though. We've all been there.
What do you do, though? Because right now, this is separately information that you need to know. This is also timed out with about when she started preschool a month ago. So I don't know if that has anything to do with
the hard part
it.
is there's a lot of change
There's a lot
now.
of change.
And you guys are, you're separating for preschool, and then you're separating for the new bed. It's a lot of separation.
So-
No wonder she's having a hard time.
So
Yeah.
there it is. I wanted to explain the situation going down in my house.
Dada, read again.
Dada, read again. How do you handle this, Sarah? And to you listening as well, how do you get past the toddler not wanting you to leave the room when it's time for that bed nighttime transition in their life?
It's so hard. I mean, Luke is 8 now, so this was 5 years ago for us, but we most certainly went through this. It was 5 weeks of hell, you know? I remember him sleeping in the hallway on the carpet. I remember he would just come into our room. We'd put him back in. We'd put him into our room. We'd put him back in. Honestly, it just passes. That's just the thing. I don't remember what our solution was. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have a whole lot of advice for you. It's
Well,
just, I'm sorry.
perseverance.
I'm sorry,
You
Kyle.
got no advice.
No, I
for
got
me?
one. I got one.
Help
for
me
ya.
out, somebody, please.
Kate
I need some professional advice over
Here's
here.
an idea. I'll tell you what.
Brian,
we did.
I can only read the caterpillar so many times.
I
I'm
know.
starting to
I don't- yeah.
lose
And
my
you
mind.
Shouldn't, you shouldn't read the caterpillar
No.
that many times. Kate Lord turn down the radio because I know Edie, our 3-year-old, is listening. She does not need to hear what we do. Okay?
Oh, I'm going to turn it down.
Turn it down.
Turn it down, Kate.
Turn it down.
Adults only.
Okay, that should have been enough time. Here's what we do. You need a way to get out of there, dude. You got
trying, bro.
You can't read.
I am trying.
I know you can't read The Very Hungry Caterpillar 40 times a night. That's not sustainable. So you got to give her a distraction or a reason why you need to leave. Here's the 2 things. 1, give her something that she can focus on. We gave Edie these little Hatchimals and told her that she needed to watch them and take care of them in bed. So that way she wouldn't get out of bed, first and foremost. But 2, it gave her something to focus on when we left. 2, instead of reading the book over and over, tell her you're going to read it one more time. And then you have to take the book into the bedroom and read it for mommy because you have to put her to bed.
Okay. Smart.
See, that's what Kate started doing with Edie. No, I can't read it. I gotta tuck daddy into bed and he needs to hear a story. And repeating that enough, then Sophia will say, oh, well, okay, you're right. Daddy has something to do. Daddy has to go read to mommy. So I don't need to ask him to read it again.
Is that what they call it nowadays? Daddy needs to go read to Daddy. Daddy needs to go put mommy to bed.
That's it.
She won't understand the gross euphemism.
Yeah,
That's
the
hilarious.
double entendre.
Sorry, I heard that. But it is a great tactic. Listen,
It works for us. Okay.
to respond to what you had to say, though, I've tried some alternate moves besides Caterpillar. Problem is when she knows that we are about to leave, that's when she starts to freak out for a second. And then she wants to pound the door with her hands and that type of stuff. And then I don't want it to get to full-on meltdown mode. So this, like I said, this is turn 1 in the full lap, right? So we're early on in this. Those are great ideas, Brian. But for me in this moment, I've tried giving her those distractions like the nightlight. She got right up, took the nightlight out, sat down sat down in the bed, and you already know what she said. Dad, read again.
Say, read again.
So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with all
it's
this.
tough. I keep going back to what's a distraction that will keep her mind off of you guys. Could you do a treasure chest where, if she's good, she gets to open the treasure chest right before you guys leave, so she has her favorite thing to distract her as you sneak out the Jack and Jill bathroom. Hey, you were so good.
Kyle doesn't feel very
you didn't
confident.
Bang on
You
the
can
door.
hear it.
You get to open the treasure chest. Here you go.
I hope
and
I
you'll be
get there.
great.
I hope I get there sooner than later. And one final thought. I know we got to get to traffic here in a second. One final thought on all this is, I swear I'm like Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible when it's time to leave the room. Because, morning fam, I want you guys to know this. On the other side of it, it is so cute and adorable, her in her bed trying to get cozy.
We know she's a sweet
and
girl.
Dad, read again.
That's
and
why
like,
they
oh
make
my
him cute,
God.
so you don't chuck him out a window.
So cute.
They have to be cute.
Yes.
Or else
But the
this
problem-
doesn't work.
Yes.
Like the greatest moment in my life nowadays is when she shuts her eyes and I'm like, oh yeah, she's asleep. It took an hour and 20 minutes and I can leave. Here's the part where I'm trying to get up like Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. My body, for whatever reason, my legs and toes are creaky.
Yeah.
So not only did I have a couple floor spots I got to look out for.
Oh, yeah, you know every creak.
When I'm getting up, when I'm sitting crisscross or just sitting on the floor, when I'm getting up, like I have like 2 or 3 toes that crack and pop. My knees pop when I get up. I'm like, oh, God, come on.
I'm
please
so loud.
don't wake up to this,
Yeah.
Sophia.
I thought it was going to be the floor. I didn't realize it was going to be your joints.
Brian, I'm dealing with all the elements right now, okay?
It's tough.
You'll get through it.
I'm trying.
It's
tough.
the
All
worst.
right,
Three-nager is real.
All right, so morning fam, if you got some advice on how you dealt with your toddler going through the thick of transitioning from crib to convertible crib to big girl bed to not wanting you to leave, I am here for your advice. I'm just in it right now. 919-860-1015. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix. Always looking out for us. Angie in Durham, what do you got for us? I heard that you're a professional.
I'm a professional at so many things, guys. I wish my name was Sarah, Brian, or Kyle so I could play kickball with you guys.
Hey, you
this
can,
weekend,
actually.
but-
We've dropped that rule, so we'll get to that later. Hold the line after
So
this call.
I know
I'll
you're a
listen.
parent of 4, so what is your advice for me, Angie?
My first advice is buy her a caterpillar, and when it is time for you to leave the room, you tell her that it's time for her to read the story to her new caterpillar.
Oh, I love
And
that.
leave the room.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Angie, you have to have like 1 million kids if you're coming with advice like that.
And I have one more, and this is the hardest one. You're going to have to just leave and let her have the meltdown.
Yep.
Because that's the only way she's going to know that after the meltdown, she's okay.
You know, Angie, I would like to say this is okay. I got a couple thoughts. One, I do have the caterpillar, the hungry caterpillar, but I've not thought about connecting the strategy that you just gave me where I present it to the
That's good.
Sophia, you read to the caterpillar. Secondly,
Yes.
Angie, I'll send you some videos behind the scenes, but my girl Sophia turns into a WWE diva when we leave. And without getting into details, I don't want her to.
You're talking to a WWE professional here, but
I'm just saying I don't want her to injure herself when I leave the room. So that is a big thing for us in all of this.
Okay. And I understand that. That is a very hard thing, and I guess that is not something you have to take your child into consideration before doing that. I literally, with one of my children, had to hold the door closed.
Yep,
And
that
they
was
would just
us.
Finally give up, and they would end up falling asleep right at the door.
Yep.
But in a couple of cases, that is what I had to end up
Angie,
doing, is just let them have that meltdown. But the caterpillar, go buy a big,
I'll
giant,
start with that one.
There you go.
But it's funny because you mentioned that we did that in our house. We actually had to turn the doorknob around because Luca was so.
You know they have child door
I know,
locks,
but
Sarah.
when it's at 3 a.m, you're not going out
You
and
did
buying
it in
one
that
of those.
moment.
Yeah,
I
we
got
turned
you.
around,
I got
turned the
you.
doorknob around. We locked him in there, and he had the meltdown of meltdowns. It only happened once, and it's all that needed to happen. And there are still paint chips out of the door from where he threw his toys. Like there's still evidence of this
Angie,
meltdown.
Memories.
Angie,
But
love
it
you.
worked.
Thanks for looking out for us as always. You have a good day.
You as well. Love you guys.
Love
Bye,
you.
Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
It means a lot that she called in. Next up, we got Jessica. Thank you for your patience, Jessica. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah. What would you tell me in this moment? How would you handle this? What's the resolution?
So to piggyback off of amazing Angie just now, because she was reading my brain, I would just add the step of recording you reading the hungry caterpillar, because then
genius
you could
idea.
just, as you're leaving, you can be like, Dad's still with you in spirit. Here he is reading. You know, like it gives her that comfort that you're still there without physically being there.
Right.
You know, we were talking to our coworkers about this yesterday after the show. It's been, the topic of my life after all. And somebody actually did mention the recording thing, and I had not thought about that, and I think it's a genius idea.
I just
the
wonder,
big
though,
catch,
if your physical touch, though,
right.
is so
Sophia,
is super important.
here's the catch, though, Jessica. Sophia's all about having dada
Yeah.
or mama in
Yeah.
the room. But if I could somehow sneak out when she's looking towards the wall, and I just hit play, and then the caterpillar had 5 onions, which separately, who the hell eats 5 onions in the morning for breakfast? Don't even get me started on that caterpillar and what
Stinky little caterpillar.
his
That's
diet
who.
options include. But no, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's just something to ease it a little bit, because I have a princess at home that, she'll be like, Mom, do this for me. I say no. She turns around and asks Dad. So that's totally that pinky around his finger kind of thing. So
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's nice to be loved, but you got to ease her off of you.
Yep.
Thank you for
Got a
calling in,
wiener.
Jessica. Have a good day, okay?
Y'all too. Take care.
And last but not least, some old-time great patience from Kim. Kim, thank you for waiting on hold the last 5 minutes. God bless you. We got to go to Kim with your advice. What do you got for us today, Kim?
So I'm a preschool teacher of 30-plus years.
Let's go.
Wow.
Professional.
Okay.
With that, I'm piggybacking both on the previous 2 callers. Here's the additional thing I would add. There's a couple things. One, you give her a choice. Okay, Daddy's only going to read it 2 times today or 3 times today. Which 2 or 3? And then going with that, yes, you have to rip the Band-Aid. You're going to have to leave. Let them throw their tantrum, because otherwise, think of it like this. She keeps pressing a button, and she's going to go as long as you let her. It's like, oh, I got him 5 times this time. And then next time, like, no, I'm not going to give in 6 times. So if you give her the choice of saying 2 times or 3 times, and so when she says 3, okay, remind her after the 2nd time, you get 1 more time, then Daddy's leaving, and when you get to the end and she's like, again, say, nope, that was 3. I'm going. I love you. It's okay. The idea about sneaking out, which I kind of agree, and this is where I differ a little bit, is that then it's like you're tricking her. This way, saying after 3 times,
right,
I'm leaving, that's it, I love you, and then, you give her a choice the next night, 2 times or 3 times. So this way she has a choice in everything. The thing with children is that they need their choice. We do everything else for them, and this is the one choice that they have, and you're doing it with love and care. But, yeah, the tantrum has to happen so that they know you're serious. Because if they think, I get to that 5th time and he stays. 6 times he stays. 7, 8. And then you're not able to be the best dad that you can be for her. You're not able to be refreshed and caring and loving and whatever. Not that you're not. You are, obviously, by bringing this to us. But she also knows you're serious, too, because this is the book. Then it might be something else. Then it's something else. Then, the bigger stuff. So if she knows now that, Daddy gave me a choice. I said 3 times. After 3, it's over. Then, eventually in time, it will happen.
Okay, so choose your own adventure technique.
Yeah, no, I think that you're giving her some
freedom.
Some agency,
Yes.
Well, Kim, thank you for looking out for me. A wealth of knowledge. The only thing I would say back to you, is there a way to revise the number of times, the options that you said? Because I don't think 2 or 3 is it for me. It's either 65 times or 75 times.
You get to choose. You get to choose. I know you're tired, but you can say, Daddy's going to read it.
You get to choose that number for her, and then she gets to choose that number.
Exactly.
And that's it.
You're the adult. She's 3.
Exactly. It's okay. It's okay. She will be okay. I promise you. I've done it all the time for many years, and it's worked. It takes a little bit, but then they understand that, okay, yeah, this is good. I made that choice. So you got it.
It's hard.
And I called before about Luca years ago about the preschool having issues at school. So I'm so glad to hear he's doing wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
God, we need you on retainer.
We do need you on retainer.
Sure.
When you get your preschool education degree, or whatever certification, do they put psychology lessons for parents? Because I feel like that's half of your job.
That's something I've built in myself, because it is. We're not just preschool teachers, and that's what people, not the general public, understands. And I'm on a mission to make that known, that it's a lot that goes into it every day. So it's psychology, mother, father, grandmother, aunt, uncle, everything. So
yeah.
I hope all the preschoolers listening are paying strict attention. You guys are tough. Take it easy on us.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you.
We're trying hard.
Thank you for dedicating.
You're doing it with love. You're doing it with love. We do it with love. And it breaks our heart behind the scenes, sitting there with the door closed, hearing your child cry.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's hard, but it has to happen.
Kim, thank you.
Remember.
Thank you for what you do, the advice, and also dedicating 30 years of your life to little kids. Kim, you have a good day, okay?
Thank you. You all too. Love you guys.
Love you back. Bye.
Love you back. Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's so nice. We do have her on retainer. We're just not paying her, it sounds like, Brian. That's what I've realized.
But we work in radio.
Yeah, we can't pay her. We can give her
Our budget is bagels.
Yeah, yes.
Well, morning fam, I just want to say thank you for letting me vent. This has been like my therapy today as we're trying to figure out how to get to the other side of it. And thank you to everybody who just called to help me out. That really does mean a lot to me. Anyway, can I have what the caterpillar's having? I just want to eat whatever I want
5 onions for breakfast?
No, not 5 onions, but I'll take the pancakes and all the eggs that bad boy is eating. He doesn't gain a single pound. All right.